Alright, hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a video on Apex once again. Today's video is going to be basically a little tutorial on how you guys can actually get started if you are new to playing Apex. Now, I first of all would very much highly suggest that you go into the training, because that is the first thing that you need to do when you first load up Apex. Now, whilst you're in the training, I do highly suggest that you use some of these settings. Of course, customize them to how you want, but this will give you a good idea of what settings you want to kind of use at the start of the game. So I'm just going to show you guys all these settings that I use. Keep in mind, obviously, I am on controller, so these might be different on PC if you play on PC. But basically, I would do this right before starting the actual training, just so you have some decent settings, and then you can customize this all later. And now we're actually able to start the training. So you'll see a little checklist on the right hand side of your screen with the training. And you basically just want to kind of fill all them through, and after you've done all the training, it'll guide you around the whole place. After you finish this training, that's basically the main things of the game completed. And so at this point, obviously, you guys can really go, well, is this a game that I want to play? Is it not? And at that point, you can decide to continue playing and then go to step 2, or not play the game. Okay, so for the second part, this is what I would suggest that you do next, is to load up the firing range. So you will be able to see on the practice area that you will have unlocked essentially all the modes in Apex. But I would highly suggest that you go to the firing range right here, because it's practically the same as the training area, except you can do your own thing, and there's no time limit, and you're not essentially forced to do all the different mechanics that is basically laid out for you. So as I go down the firing range right here, I'm picking up weapons, I'm looking at all the different ammo types, trying to remember which ammo the different weapons use, the different recoil patterns for the weapons, obviously using these targets that move left and right to kind of learn the recoil, all the different gear items, the different perks, all the different characters and abilities. There's a lot, and I think the firing range is really good at laying out all the items, all the things you can do, all the attachments here as well. Just so that you can essentially play around with all the different abilities, all the different weapons, everything, and customize it all. Obviously, things like the evac tower as well, things like that you might not know what the hell it does. So survival items as well, and also there's a massive movement area right here that you can definitely play around with, and you can also customize some of the firing range settings, such as having it so dummies shoot back at you. It's near the bottom, but this is really good to kind of get a little bit of a kind of shooting environment just straight away as soon as you want to play. But once you feel quite comfortable with the general items and movement, you want to move on to part 3, which is Battle Royale. So this is basically putting what you've learned about all the items, the movement, the abilities, and actually having it in a realistic Battle Royale environment. So that being with Bot Royale, you're actually going into games with obviously bots, as you can see here, but they will be using their abilities against you. So rather than you being the one that uses the ability, the enemies are going to be using them against you. So you have to remember when you see certain characters what abilities they use, and obviously sometimes they will use them against you, so you have to be prepared for that. You'll also get to know the core Battle Royale mechanics, such as the dropship. It flies over the map and you go to your designated area that you want to go to. Now, something that I do want to bring up, as I'm showing you the gameplay here of me obviously killing bots in this game, you actually have a welcome pass. Now, this only recently got added. Now, I'm unsure really if you have to complete this pass to actually start playing the game fully. But I think it's quite cool that you can actually play, well, the Bot Royale thing whilst completing some challenges to get some reward out of it. Now, of course, it does really, as I said before, signify the kind of Battle Royale experience just on a very miniature scale. So you can essentially try and learn the game this way. Of course, stats will not count though. Now we're going on to part 4 right now, which is basically all to do with mixtape. Now, I'm highlighting right here that you could just go straight into trios and duos, since this is the main type of stuff that you've already learned now. You know how to play the Battle Royale mode, and you can just go in fire range if you want to really learn the rest of your gun skills and stuff like that. But I really want to highlight mixtape because this mode's really good for us 3 specific things. I found that all of the modes are really good for realistic 1v1 fights as you're actually versing real people. And of course, the whole Battle Royale kind of experience, the whole downside of that is that you need to loot for how much of the game before you even start fighting people. With Mixtape, you just get right into the action straight away. Now, at least for right now, as you can see at the bottom right here, it says that there's 3 modes. These are Control, Gun Run, and Team Deathmatch. Now, all these 3 different modes are really good for their own different ways. Obviously, Gun Run is really good for kind of using all the different guns in the game. So you'll actually go through all the guns in the game and you have to get a kill with each one. So that's really good for that.
I found that Control is also really good for ranked, specifically for like defending areas, and I feel like TDM is also really good for picking your fights properly, because you don't want to force every single fight, because then the enemy team might actually kill you and then they might win the game overall, rather than you getting kills then win the game.
Now, overall, if you are really happy with how you're playing in Mixtape, how you're doing in the Battle Royale, then I'd say only then you could probably go into pubs and ranked. Now, of course, in ranked, you will be rookie, and so you will not be losing any RP to start with. So the games are very simple, honestly. But then again, you know, I think the main thing is just to have fun. Even though the game has quite a lot to learn, as was seen by all the attachments, all the legends, all the perks, everything in the firing range, you know, it's quite fun because I feel like every single fight that you have in Apex is different because there's so many things to think about, there's so many things that come into play that you'll only learn the more you play. And I feel like even though you will die many, many times to things that you might not understand fully, that's part of the learning experience. And I feel like that's something that you can really take more of a way to improve than a critique of your own gameplay. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.